Hello again, everyone. Excuse me, Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about why I believe we need the zodiac sign Cancer. Well, for one thing, Cancer, of course, can be very nurturing, sympathetic, and protective. They often show a lot of care toward those they love dearly. If they have a prominent family member or a close friend that is injured, or whether emotionally or physically, they'll often be one of the first ones to take care of them. So that is why we need the zodiac. One reason why we need the zodiac sign Cancer in our life. Another reason is that Cancer can give us a lot of emotional and moral support. Even technical support sometimes on a computer if they're proficient in computer technology, and they will often be there to give us a sympathetic ear when others may be very cold, callous, or simply downright oblivious to us. So that's another reason why we need the zodiac sign Cancer in our lives. Now, another reason is that when you look at the zodiac sign Cancer, they're often a very strong family defender. And it's interesting, I've talked previously about how I believe actors and actresses can often consciously, if not subconsciously, be drawn to roles that correspond with their astrological energies. And you look at actor Mel Gibson, who has a Cancer Ascendant, certainly no exception. There was a movie called Ransom, I believe, where it showed he became very ballistic when he was trying to locate his son. He yelled real loud something like, "I want my son back." And that it really epitomizes the Cancerian energy in terms of how they are in connection with family members. Cancer generally can be very passive, submissive, and timid. They're generally non-confrontational. But if you do something with one of their family members, you better be in for a big battle. There was another movie, it was one of the Rocky movies, where Sylvester Stallone has a son in Cancer, and I guess it was his father-in-law got pushed by somebody, and once that happened, the gloves were off, and he was ready to fight this person. So anyway, now I think another reason why we need Cancer in our lives is that I do believe Cancer may very well unequivocally love more than any of the other zodiac signs on average. This is no offense to the other signs, or I'm not being derisive or negative toward them. And I understand Cancer is not ruled by Venus, it's ruled by the moon. But I think what happens with Cancer, though, is they can love so strongly that it's almost in direct proportion why they get hurt so easily, because they'll put so much into a relationship. Often I think what happens is if they're rejected, or they find out a significant other is being fallacious or deceptive or what have you, they take it so much more to heart than the other zodiac signs, because they want they want something very deep. Often they want they want to have somebody that truly loves them for inside and out, and somebody to be very loyal and faithful to them. So anyway, now another reason why we may need Cancer in our lives is that the memory of Cancer can often be very retentive. They may often remember many things that others may forget. They'll often reminisce about happy moments in their lives. They may locate an item in their home that somebody is looking for, and where the other person might have difficulty finding it, they may find it almost instinctively, especially I think with things that are home related. Cancer, again, they can remember things from the past. They're often, they can even remember the inflection in the way the person may have said something in the past, the tone of the voice. That is where Cancer's memory can really be exceptional, I believe, because they're about their emotions and feelings. They'll even remember the mood, the temperament of the people at the time that they have said something. So anyway, now another thing about Cancer, why we need Cancer in our lives, they could be very sensitive to others in speech. They often will articulate things in a manner so not to hurt the feelings of others. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back. But anyway, because they understand what it's like to be hurt. They understand Cancer knows what it's like to be hurt by inflammatory remarks, abrasive behavior, and as a result, consequently, I think they're often very prudent and careful how they word things to others because they are very sensitive to the feelings of others. So that is another reason why we need the zodiac sign Cancer in our lives. Now, another thing too is that Cancer may often treat their friends like family. That's another reason why we may need them. They are very, Cancer is very homey. I had a Cancer rising friend that said to me one time, well, we treated you like family, but he used that as an excuse to extricate himself from or absolve himself from paying me anything for whatever it was I was doing for him. And unfortunately, in negative manifestation, Cancer may use the, we see you like family as an excuse to kind of get out of doing something for somebody, especially perhaps of a monetary nature or what have you. But at the same time, there's many Cancerian people that will look at their close friends as simulated family members, and they really make you feel at home with them. So that's another reason why we need the zodiac sign Cancer in our lives. Now, another thing too is why we need Cancer in our lives is that Cancer, of course, being a water sign, can be exceptionally intuitive. They could often be very intuitive to the person's mood and their temperament at that time. And you wonder, well, how is that beneficial or advantageous? Well, what's good about that is that if they can sense somebody is in a bad mood or something, they may be able to avoid talking to that person at that time and be able to confront or approach that person at a time when he or she is feeling much better. If they could sense the person is in a good demeanor, if they're in a better mood and their temperament is better, then at that point in time they're more approachable, and then they know that they can actually speak to them. They can instinctively understand the person's mood, their temperament, and when they're approachable and when they're not. And anyway, and they may be able to help others if somebody else is trying to approach someone at a particular point in time. So anyway, now the thing about it is another reason why we may need Cancer in our lives is that they could be very, it stems from the fact, again, they are very sensitive to ridicule and criticism and derogatory remarks. They understand and empathize if someone else is having to listen to some negativity from someone else. And because of that, they can really relate, and if they see somebody else succumbing to ridicule and criticism, they could be there again to help them out and empathize with them, give them a sympathetic ear, and let them know that they're not alone in dealing with that kind of a situation. So anyway, last but not least, another reason why we may need Cancer in our lives is because of their tenacity. Now, Cancer is not a fixed sign. I understand that but at the same time, they could be very persistent and tenacious with something that they truly care about, the things they feel very much at home with. They almost feel a duty and a passion to certain things. If they are at home with something and feel comfortable with it, and especially if it's something connected with a strong family member, a project, and whether they're collaborating with family members or not, or doing it solo, and it's a home related matter, they could be very tenacious and stick with it, where it may daunt many other zodiac signs. They will stick with something. And what's interesting and fascinating about this, again, is that Cancer is not a fixed sign, but yet they can almost embody those qualities when they're doing something that they truly love and are enamored with. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment as for why I believe we need the zodiac sign Cancer in our lives. Stay tuned next time, where I'll be talking about why I believe we need Leo in our lives. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel, but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Till next time, people, stay well.